Hello, beautiful being. What's up? Let me just everybody doing? My name is Jeanette, also known as Ms.FitVegan, and today I'm going to be talking to a former course member, my boo, Peggy Boo, and I'm so excited because I love her so much, and she actually did the course with me back in November, and I'm really excited to talk to her and hear about her experience. If you are someone who needs a change in your life and you want to either lose weight, get toned, heal naturally from a health issue that you're having, you just want to break your food addiction, well, I recommend you send me a DM today because I start my brand new food addiction freedom course tomorrow, June 11th. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's up, Elizabeth? And we are going to be going for 6 weeks together. So you're going to get one-on-one coaching from me, group coaching. We're going to work out 3 days a week. 2 times a week we'll be on Zoom for 2 hours each. You can call me anytime, text me anytime, any questions, anytime, 24/7 for 6 weeks. All right. And so if you're somebody who's looking to go raw, this is the perfect opportunity. You can be coached by somebody who has been raw for 12 years. And so let me bring Peggy in. What's up, everyone? Can you guys hear me? How's my sound? Let me bring Peggy Boo in, and she's have a bunch of questions for her. She's an amazing person. I'm really excited to talk to her. Oh,
Oh,
oh, hi.
hey there.
Hi, Peggy Boo.
Hey,
Oh my
Jeanette.
gosh. Okay, so we made it. I've been trying to go live with Peggy for so long, like since November, probably. But let me just fix this. Yes, so Peggy is an amazing human being that I got to work with. I had the pleasure of working with in the Raw Transformation course that I did with Matt from Raw Intuition. And we did a lot of things together. We worked out together, and we did guided visualizations, tapping, which is also known as EFT. We did all these things. But before we get into the course, Peggy, can you please just give us a synopsis of how you came to the raw food lifestyle? How did you find it, and why did you decide to eat a healthy vegan diet?
Sure. Well, in my early 40s, I ended up being diagnosed with IBS. I had had costochondritis a couple times, which is inflammation of your chest. And then I ended up getting GERD. So I was just having a lot of digestive issues. That was a big part of it. And so when I first looked, there wasn't much out there. I remember I picked up, my first book was by Giuliano. I don't know if you know who that is. He's like out in California. And it was just so
No.
funny because like the measurements were just huge portions. I think he has a restaurant out there. And so then after him, I was definitely found Raw Gourmet first. So I used Melissa Cohen. I loved her books. And we talked about, oh my gosh, the one who's out of New York City. And she was on, unfortunately, a Netflix episode, Bad
Oh,
Vegan.
Sarma.
Sarma, yeah, I found their books. They were beautiful. But those that like that heavy gourmet raw, it didn't fix any of my digestive symptoms at all, or didn't touch them. So I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work. But it kept like coming back to me. Like I'd go to a bookstore and I would be immediately drawn to the raw food books. And I remember seeing the 80-10-10, but I opened it and like coming from, I did vegetarian for a large portion of my life, but that means I still had dairy products. I'm like, there's no way. I looked at the recipes. I go, there's no way I can go from what I'm eating to 80-10-10.
Wow.
It seemed too foreign. I always have had a lot of fruit and vegetables in my life, but I just didn't think I could do that. But my symptoms kept getting worse. I ended up having a really bad reaction to gluten too, and where I would get really bad headaches and rashes. And then I noticed when I ate dairy, I was so inflamed, I'd even get like blisters and sores in my mouth. So it was just, there was nothing. And I go, if you go to traditional Western medicine, they don't have anything for you. They can give you drugs to kind of mask the symptoms, but the drugs for like a GERD or an acid reflux, they are horrible. And if you go off of them, like it's worse than it is before you start them. And I was on for just a short time, and then my insurance company wouldn't cover what I was on. And I know. And so then he put me on another one, and it was just like I had anxiety. I was just shaking. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to figure out a different way. And So that really helped. So I went through raw food. I tried other different diets. And then I found the whole food plant-based. And to tell you the truth, there are benefits that I love about the raw diet. That's why I'm sticking to it. But I healed most of my digestive issues on the whole food plant-based diet. And that's following like a Dr. McDougall or Dr. Esselstyn. So it's the no oil, no salt, or very minimal. Dr. McDougall allows you to use a little bit of salt and sugar, but you know, the other ones are, and pretty much no added fat. But I found I went from like, so normally I probably weigh like 125 to 130, and I was down to 114 on that diet. Like, it was really boring to me. I just couldn't get enough calories in, I guess, eating that way. I don't know. So there was something still kind of missing, and I ended up finding raw food romance.
Lisa, yes.
Yes. So I had gone really off. So, and also I find the cook food, and when I talk to my accountability partner, we're both the same way. The whole food plant-based, it's just for us who have some food issues. It's just such an easy to slide into the cooked food again and go out to restaurants and add in processed food. It's just a very slippery slope for me personally, is what I found. So what happened, so I'd been off a little bit, and I started to get arthritis in my hands, and I had it in the thumb where I couldn't even bend it. And so I'd go in the shower in hot water and just really try to bend it. I started to get my digestive stuff was coming back. And I thought, you know what, this is it. I've got to do something. And she had like a meal plan 3 book was my favorite. And that's what I ordered that. I go, okay, everything's just laid out for me. And she is, she's kind of 80-10-10, but she allows a little bit higher percentage fat. I think she'll go up to 18% or something. I don't know what she's doing now, but at the time, that's what it was. And yeah. So here's the thumb, you know, yeah. But
and no pain, right?
No pain. I mean, I would wake up and my hands would be stiff, and the middle finger on this hand, like it would click, and I was having trouble bending it too. You know, there's no clicking, and you can see. I still like, you can tell the difference between my 2 thumbs. The one that had the problem, yes. It's a little bit. So the joints are still a little enlarged, but I don't have that pain anymore. And so I really liked Alyssa's plan, but I think in that book, it's 2 salads and you can eat fruit, but I was always wanting something sweet. Like I wasn't getting enough sweet. So I'd have an ice cream after dinner, or sometimes I would take tahini and mix it with maple syrup and just eat that.
Oh, that is so good.
I know.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of a dessert fanatic. So, and then, you know, I started to see you and Matt, and I started looking again more at the 80-10-10. And what I found for me when I eat fruit to the beginning of the day, and a lot of times it's almost like I do have a second salad because I have some pretty heavy greens sometimes in my smoothie bowls. But when I get to dinner, I am ready for a salad. I'm ready for the dressing. And I do have dressings with fat in them. A lot of them are tahini, sometimes Brazil nuts, sometimes sunflower seeds. But I'm satisfied, and I'm not looking for something after dinner. Yeah, so I don't know. I really am very happy with where I'm at now.
That was such a great story because you took us through. No, that was perfect. And you took us through because, you know, it is a journey to find what works for you, you know, and there's many ways to heal, and some things that will work for me won't work for you, and vice versa. And so, yes, I really love that. And so now, I just want to know, how long did it take you going raw to heal your thumb and your pain?
Yeah, that was probably just a few months.
Wow.
I know, because I was in Florida when I did it, and we were only there for so many months. Yeah. So that's, and I will find, like, let's say if I go off plan, it comes back. I wake up a sniff. I haven't had like the thumb badly anymore, but I definitely can get some stiffness in my joints.
Yeah, thanks for saying this, Peggy, because I don't think a lot of people out there realize their physical pain, like the joint pain, has to do with what they're eating. I don't think people realize that.
Yeah.
So like if you have a chronic back pain, chronic arthritis, chronic just joint pain, it is caused by inflammation in your diet. And so now you mentioned, Peggy Boo, your accountability partner. So at the end of a course, so if you join my course, and by the way, my next one is starting tomorrow, ladies. So if you are interested, send me a DM or an email. I'll leave the information below. But if you join my course, you get an accountability partner for life. And so you you took my course in November, so it's been like over 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So how has that been going? Do you still talk to each other? Do you hate each other? What's going on?
We do not hate each other.
Thank God. Thank
No,
God.
yeah, we still talk weekly. And
Oh,
we had a week, I think, when one or both of us have traveled, and then we'll just go and we'll message each other and make sure we check in that week. Yeah, it's been really good. The fun part with her is we also have a very spiritual path, and both of us have gone really deep into different religions along with Christianity and then just spirituality. So it's kind of fun. We match up a lot of ways. We both love nature. We're both active. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a really great partnership. And in fact, I'm going to see her next weekend at a park because our states adjoin, and we're going to go there. And actually, Matt of Raw Tuition is going to meet us too. So we're going to
oh
have like
my
a little
God.
potluck. I know. So I'm
Oh
very
my
excited.
God. That is
Yeah.
so cute.
Yeah.
That is so, so cute. Okay, so that's gonna be really fun. Take photos and videos and send to
Yeah.
me. Oh my gosh. So now, okay, so I'm wondering now during the course, what would you say, who would you say this course is for? You know, what kind of
Yeah.
person do you think would benefit from this course the most?
I think anybody who is having physical ailments. I forgot to mention, my goodness, mentally, like I'm a positive person, but you go on a raw food diet and it's just like you are happy. And it was funny when I did actually a raw food chef class with Alyssa Cohen. And as a group, we were talking, and that's the first thing everybody noticed is just you are more positive about life and you're lighter about it. So even food affects you mentally. It doesn't just affect you physically. So I think if you're serious about changing your diet, and I know, Jeanette, you said you don't have to be raw food. It's vegan, not raw
Yes.
vegan. Um, it's going to give you so many tools to do that because like for me, I wasn't able to stay on my own. And I'm not going to tell you I've been perfect since class until then. I have gone off a few times, but it's maybe a meal or maybe two. And it's usually because we're just in a position where we've been eating out so much. And I'm like, I don't feel like making a dressing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a process. It's a process. And, but my food is this food. Like I don't go back and think I'm going to go back to when I go back to my food, it's this raw food. This is how I feel the best. It's my diet now. And I don't think it would be that way without going through your class.
Yeah, yeah, that's really important. I have found that like the faster I get back on track, the better things are,
Mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
know, and like the faster I forgive myself and just be
Yeah.
nice to myself. So, can you tell me how over the years or even, you know, since the course,
Yeah.
how has your self-talk changed and how has it affected your diet choices?
Okay.
Have you
Yeah.
noticed that it has?
Yes. Well, my self-talk has changed tremendously because I've spent decades working on that, using different tools. Because it's important. I truly believe what's going on inside of you is what you're going to see in your world. And the forgiveness piece is really big. And with me, yeah, if you make a mistake, I just forgive myself. I'm human. I was in a situation. A lot of times it's not just one thing that had me go off plan. There's multiple things that are ganging up, and it's just okay. It is what it is. You forgive yourself, and it is much easier to get back on because if you're wallowing or you're upset, that's going to create those feelings that you want to numb with food. So I really think that the forgiveness and the self-love is huge, and that's part of the course. I know. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and they never like most raw food courses never talk about this kind of stuff. You know, it's all about the
Right.
nutrients and the vitamins and
Exactly.
minerals. Those things are important, but like everyone knows
Mhm,
what's healthy.
mhm,
Everyone knows what to do. It's like how to do it.
mhm.
So now let's talk about the workout
Okay.
aspect of it. So Peggy Boo, I think you showed up like every single workout. I think,
I think
right?
so. I know I may have missed one because I was traveling south. I don't know if I did one at my daughter's, like
Yeah, yeah.
halfway in between, but I think I may have missed. I don't
Yeah,
know. I did most of them. Yeah.
if you missed one, it's like that was the only one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like Peggy was super
Yeah.
consistent and we worked out every, you know, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And so tell everyone, what was it like if you remember? It was so long ago, but like what was it like to work
Yeah.
out with me during the course?
Mhm. It was, you know what? the thing about especially strength training is I think there's a huge mental discipline along with a physical discipline. And when you have other people there, kind of like on my own, I would not have pushed myself probably as much as I
No.
would have with people there. And it was a lot of fun. We laughed through it. So it was like, it wasn't a chore. It was fun. It was something I look forward to and I really enjoyed, even though it was tough.
Yeah, me too. I really
Yeah,
enjoy it, and I
yeah,
will not do it without you. Like, I will not
yeah,
do it without
yeah,
other people. I can't. It's a
yeah.
chore, but with people, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so now we have a question from Elizabeth,
Yeah.
Peggy. So Elizabeth wants to know if you get headaches before
Mm-hmm.
a raw food diet,
Mm-hmm.
did you see a difference of frequency of the headaches? So did you ever experience headaches, Peggy Boo?
I did. I sometimes I feel like I get pressure headaches. I used to gluten. If I had too much gluten, that would start be a symptom where I would have like daily headaches. I've had some migraine headaches, and a lot of times I think they're around dehydration, which if you're eating a standard American diet, you're not getting a lot of, even if you drink water, you're not getting a lot of liquid in your food.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do not have those headaches at all
Got to
anymore.
get that
But there
liquid
you
in
go,
your food.
hydrated. Yeah, hydrated. Yeah, so I don't have them anymore. So my headaches were definitely associated with food or dehydration, like playing a really, really like, I used to play a lot of tennis. And so as an adult, I've had a couple matches where they were just really long in Atlanta, Georgia, just really, really hot in the middle of summer. And I had a couple migraines after that. So yeah,
There you go.
gluten
You're
was bad.
chronically dehydrated. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably like most of society. So,
Mhm.
Peggy, that is a great point. You know, the raw food diet really, really works because it's hydrating us at a
Mhm.
basic level. That's it, right? Your joints, your brain,
Right.
your organs, it's hydrating. And so everything that's hurting us is hurting because it's dehydrated, you know, when it comes to joint pain and your headache and all
Exactly.
these things. So great point. And now I'm curious, can we please talk about this
Yeah.
Ho'oponopono? So now this is something that I have integrated into the course now. So I changed the course a lot since we worked together,
Okay.
obviously. The course is now really different because it's a food addiction freedom
Mhm.
course. Okay. It's not just about raw foods. It's very little about raw foods now.
Mhm.
Now it's about like letting go of binge eating and the false beliefs and the lies
Mhm.
that we're telling ourselves. And I have started doing Ho'oponopono every single Zoom. Okay. So it's a big part of the course. And like, I don't know, did we do it in our Zoom? Like in our course?
Um, we did one time because
One. Yeah.
I think you mispronounced it, and so I told you
That sounds about right.
only for the future for you, not because I in any way wanted to say that you're doing
I'm
something
pretty
wrong.
sure I said Ho'oponopono. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
I'm pretty sure. And then you taught
hard to
me,
say. It's hard to say.
Peggy, you taught me the real power of it. I didn't
Uh,
know. And that's why I integrated it into this
uh,
course. So now, can you please tell us about this weird word that we're saying,
sure,
Ho'oponopono? How
sure.
did you find out and what are the benefits and what is this crazy thing?
Okay, so Ho'oponopono is based on a Hawaiian forgiveness. So it used to be that the kahuna of a village, if there were like two families fighting or whatever, having disputes or people, they would bring those families together and kind of have them to apologize to each other. But I have a really good friend. We're like spiritual buddies, spiritual path together. We call. It seems like we always have the same issues going on in our life. And she's the one. She had one of her clients. She does the tapping, the EFT. She does a lot with Gary Craig, and she had one of her students introduced her to Ho'oponopono, and so that's how I first learned about it. And there was like a class you could take online, or it was maybe it was a seminar that already happened. It had Dr. Hugh Lin in it, which I talk a lot about him in my podcast, and then Joe Vitale. And so that's how I first learned about it. And then Joe Vitale has a book, Zero Limits, on it, which is really good. It was an okayed by Dr. Hugh Lin and his story. So what happened is Dr. Hugh Lin's teacher, she realized really everything that's happening out in the world is a reflection of what's happening in us. And in Ho'oponopono, you're taking 100% responsibility. And I always want to say, you're not taking blame. There's no blame on what's happened to
Right.
you or where you're at right now. But moving forward, I'm 100% responsible. And he's talking about what you have running in your subconscious mind is this, it's data. It's all these memories. It's all these conditionings. So it's your memories. It's all you've learned. It's your perceptions and all your judgments you've learned. And how you can identify it is when an emotion comes up, when you anger or whatever, when you think about something, or sadness or depression or bitterness. To me, bitterness is the most destructive emotion that you can hold on to. And so to clean on those emotions that come up within yourself, or past hurts or pains, then you use the Hooponopono. There's 4 phrases. There's so many different tools you can use in Hooponopono, but kind of the ones that are very popular right now are the 4 phrases. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And there's prayers you can use. There's actually like I drink blue solar water, which we could talk about if you want to or not. So what you're doing is you're cleaning up your stuff. You're letting go. And so by being 100% responsible, it means you're 100% responsible for all of that's in you, that is all of your pain, all these, and it can be ancestral. It's things that you pull up through DNA. And since we're all connected, when you clean up in yourself, it helps other people to release that. Because Dr. Yulin has a pretty amazing story. You know, you can read that or whatever, I can talk about. But that's what it's about. It's about releasing that. So you get more to a space of zero, a space of inspiration, a space of wholeness, and then you live in inspiration. So you're living your life. If you're living in your data, you're living in the past. You're not even here living your life. So you want to clean that out so you can be open to what's going on now and the beauty in the world. So I just did a podcast on this. I hope I won't get emotional, but I can just see in my life, the world that's reflected to me now is much different than it was a long time ago. It's a supportive world. It's not an attacking world. I'm very rarely hurt. He talks about in the physical body, being in the zero state, you're more loving. There's more kindness, more compassion, and that's huge because that goes to yourself too, and that's what makes it easy to break these food addictions and things. Yeah, easier.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, first of all, what is the name of your podcast, please?
It's Peggy's Piece of Mindfulness.
Yes. Okay. So everybody go, I'll leave the link below on YouTube. But if you're watching on Instagram Live now, go to Spotify
Yeah.
or Apple
I'm
Music.
only on Spotify.
Okay.
I haven't figured out
She's
how to do anything else yet.
exclusively has a contract with Spotify. Go to Peggy's, what is it? Peggy's Mindfulness?
Peggy's Piece of
Piece of
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness. Yes, yes. It's a really good podcast. And as you can hear, Peggy has a beautiful voice
Oh my God.
and it's just so calming and just so I love listening to your podcast. I love listening to you talk. And so thank you for doing a podcast. And you started it during our course, right?
Because of you, I
Because
did.
of me. Because of me. So I have that on camera now. So now when you blow up, it's because of me.
Okay.
Okay, and so, the Ho'oponopono I have found to be so powerful.
Good.
So Peggy, you studied it a lot, and so you're like my Ho'oponopono guru. And so I want to know what is happening in our bodies when we do this, because something happens to me for sure, for sure.
Well, it's a healing. It's even, you're going to heal. You can do Ho'opono on yourself. Like I have, so I use kind of a statement. So it's, I'm sorry for whatever in me is causing like this pain in my abdomen. And it's like, please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And so I use that statement. I'll say that a few times. And sometimes I'll do one of the Ho'opono prayers I know afterwards. So it depends on where your thought system is. But I truly believe that we're energy beings. I mean, if you put anything under a microscope enough, it's just how fast our molecules are vibrating together, whether you see something solid or not. Like if you think about water, you have vapor, you have the liquid water, and you have ice. So like if you're holding on to a past pain or a past judgment and or bitterness, that creates density in your body. And usually wherever our weaker points are, and that could be genetic. So you want to clean and release that and let it go, and I think you'll find healing. You'll find mental healing, emotional healing, because you're letting go of this data that's keeping you in a hurt space. And I always say that you're acting out of the emotion of fear. And fear is everything that's not love. So that's going to be hatred, sadness, depression, it's all of those, jealousy. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
you start
And
being in a different space, a loving, kind, compassionate space.
yeah, and guys, if this is something that interests you, letting go of the bitter,
Mm.
the resentment,
Oh my gosh.
the anger, the sadness, the things that are self-sabotaging
Mm-hmm.
you. Peggy, let's talk a little bit about that because our course wasn't really about food addiction per
Mm-hmm.
se, but I think pretty much all of us are suffering from it because the food is so addictive by nature, right? The
Yeah.
processed foods.
And
So
it's
now I want
acceptable. It's socially acceptable. You go someplace and you're supposed to have cake and ice cream and a pizza party for kids' birthdays. It's just how our society is.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so now I'm wondering, um, what are some things that you have learned along the way to help you just be nicer to yourself? Because I say this because a lot of people are punishing themselves by self-sabotaging, by not sticking to their word, by eating things that like they feel good in the moment, but like they know they don't want that, you know? So like, what are some things that you changed in order to stick to a healthy diet for, and even a whole foods plant-based diet? How did you actually stick to it?
Part of it is I use the Hooponopono,
Oh, wow.
and I've used tapping too. Tapping was what I knew before Hooponopono or
Yes.
EFT. So if you come up, it's like, what in me is craving this food that I don't want to eat? I'm sorry, please forgive
Mm,
me. Thank you. I've also used affirmations, to affirm, I am a whole plant-based eater.
yes.
From the class, had my perfect day. It really helped me so much in the beginning, just because in that perfect day, if you have a recording of your voice describing how delicious and beautiful and satisfying your whole plant food is, and you listen to that every morning, you're going to want that. I think the vision
Yes.
cards helped. And having an accountability partner does too. And the other thing, again, so I've done work. I love myself. I've forgiven myself. I immediately forgive myself now. Sometimes it takes a while. But I'm very supportive of me, and so I'm supportive of others. So I hear like people talking about when they're on this diet, like people are trying to sabotage, and your husbands or close ones or friends, and I haven't experienced that at all. They're all trying to help me. How can I help you? What can I get you? I remember I went to a restaurant in Amelia Island, and I had my dressing, and I had like 3 different types of. I brought like peas and maybe cucumbers or tomatoes, something extra to kind of bulk up the salad. And I put it on, and the hostess came over, and another guy came over from the restaurant, like, oh my God, that looks delicious. I mean, that's the experience that I've had.
Oh my God. Wait, wait,
So
wait.
I feel it's reflecting my inner world. I truly
Yes.
believe that.
Okay, I have so many questions, but
Yeah.
first of all, wait. Yeah, that's like one of the
Yeah.
tricks that I haven't done yet, but I want to do it. So you brought your food to add to the crappy restaurant
Make it
salad.
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they came over and they're like, "Oh my God, that looks amazing."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The
that's
work
crazy.
staff. I remember another restaurant. This is the hard part. When we go and stay on Amelia Island, we were there 4 months. People come to visit us, and it's vacation. Like my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and they want to be out
Yeah.
lunch and dinner. And
Yeah.
so, I usually would order a double side salad is what I do. And then I put that stuff on. I remember I went in and I was decided like, I almost have guacamole. And to look at the waitress, I'm like, you know what? I don't, there's a lot of stuff I don't eat. um, can I have celery or something with the guacamole? She's like, I know. She goes, yeah, you bet. I'm going to bring you. And she brought me this big, beautiful plate of celery to have with the
Oh
guacamole.
my
It's your attitude. I believe it's your attitude. It's what's going on. If you expect people to think that you're weird and different and that you're difficult, that's what's going to reflect it to you. If you expect that what you're doing it's really normal, it's easy. You go, again, it's a little bit of affirmations. It's going to be easy for them to accommodate me.
Yeah, this is it, guys. You're listening to like this is the secret to life. Like
Mm-hmm.
not just changing your diet, but your life. Because Peggy, yeah, she's been into self-development for
Yeah.
her whole life, right? Like a
A
long
very
time.
long
So
time. Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
she's been doing this inner work, and basically the inner work is unlearning the negative thought patterns and saying, no, like I am supported by the
Mhm.
universe.
Yeah.
It is gonna be easy to be raw or to be healthy and
Exactly.
go out. Because I remember, Peggy, you went to like 6 restaurants or something in like 6 days
Yeah.
during the course. It
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
a crazy
Oh,
like
yeah.
no, it was like 12 meals you ate out in like 6 days,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's a big thing for people. They fall off
It's
because they
really,
just,
it's hard. Yeah, I had to be really committed. And like say the people, it's my brother, I think it's when my brother-in-law and sister-in-law came over it was over the holidays. I mean, I remember my brother-in-law, because I had my sister-in-law, she's right in with me. You know, we were together, we're a really bad combination because we would just eat and eat. We both are big eaters and love sweets. And I remember like my husband had some chocolates and stuff mailed to him, and we had gone out for dinner. I had brought my salad. I mean, I brought my salad dressing and put it over salad I could get out. And we were sitting there, and my sister-in-law, it was interesting because they had all had a heavy meal. They were then digging into all this chocolate. And they were like, oh, I don't feel good. One's like, I'm going to have acid reflux tonight. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have been right there with them. But I felt great. I mean, sometimes it's things like that. And I would have been right there stuffing, even though I could have eaten the biggest meal. If I always say there was a dessert stomach, I could stuff in a whole nother, you know.
yeah.
So it was a really neat revelation for me, like what the difference was. I would have felt sick and yucky, and then I have all my other stuff if I would have indulged.
So let me ask you now, Peggy, because people are afraid that their relationships will suffer because of them taking care of themselves and not eating the way that their friends and family,
Right.
husband and sister-in-law eats. And so now tell me, has your relationship suffered with your sister-in-law?
Absolutely not. No.
Really?
No, not at all. Not with anybody. And a lot
Not
of
with
them want to
anybody.
learn. A lot of them want to learn. I have one good friend from Atlanta, and she started to follow, you know, some of my stuff. And I went back, so I watched my granddaughter for a week when I was in Florida, and she came by and visited. She's like, okay, Peggy. She's like, she's making smoothies. She's making ice cream. Because she has a lot of autoimmune stuff. And I really feel like if you have a lot of autoimmune diagnosis, it's absolutely your food. I truly believe that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. My roommate, my junk food vegan roommate, she went for 30 days in May, no processed foods. And like, I'm going to do an interview with her very soon. Basically, she has an autoimmune disease. And in 1 month, it totally cleared up. 1 month. And she wasn't even raw, Peggy. She
Right?
just went whole foods,
Yeah.
plant-based. And, you know, she has like, because I make juices and smoothies and she always has fruit around. And it's, you know, but like, yeah. So autoimmune diseases, you have to take care of yourself. You have to pay attention to what's going in your body. And so you guys just heard it. Peggy, her relationships have not suffered. And by the way, you live with your husband is not raw.
No.
How does that work?
And my oldest son is here too. But my husband's adding, like I make him a smoothie in the morning, and he's moving. He's eating less and less animal products. I mean, a big one, this is one I highlight, is any processed meat, like even like turkey lunch meat is considered a class 1 carcinogenic by the World Health Organization, the same as asbestos and cigarette smoking. It's interesting. My daughter was pregnant. They told her not to have any lunch meat, not even turkey.
Peggy, how is it legal?
There should be warnings. There in like asbestos, you'd have all kinds of warnings. On cigarettes, you have all kinds of warnings. But on these, the salami, like I can see salami and pepperoni. But then I thought about when they talk about just turkey, like turkey lunch meat to me seemed like the most benign lunch meat you could have.
Yeah, I used to eat it all the time.
Yeah.
That was a healthy meal to me.
Yeah.
Whole grain bread, lettuce, tomato, turkey.
Right. And class 1 carcinogenic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I definitely didn't know that.
Yeah.
So now, do you make your husband meals, Peggy Boo?
I don't. We separate enough. He travels a lot, and so he'll kind of sometimes grab something out, or he'll make his own thing. And my younger son does too. And the thing is, whatever they have in the house does not tempt me at all. So if I have gone off plan at all, it's this is out with friends, or it was just. When I was in Amelia Island, there was like 3 weeks of people, and it was just like, I could tell I was losing weight because there's just, a salad, even a double salad at a restaurant twice a day is not a lot of calories, even with the dressings that I had. So I don't go off plan in my home because I don't have anything in here that would have me go off plan.
The key, guys. Did you hear that?
It is the key. Yes.
It's not hard. It's just a learning curve, and which
absolutely.
We need to learn. If you are not eating healthy, it's not your fault. It's just you haven't learned how to do it. So if you're interested, I'm starting a brand new course tomorrow, June 11th, the Food Addiction Freedom course. And we're going to be doing a deep dive into what's going on and why you are self-sabotaging, and to break those old habits and create new ones. It's not hard, but we just have to learn how to do it. And so, Peggy, thank you so much. Wait, let me see if I had any more questions. I
Okay.
have so many. But basically, what is one, well, you said so many things. I wanted to let you guys know that when she talked about the perfect day, vision cards, and all these things, we do that together in the course, because like there's so many tools, Peggy, but like, we sometimes we don't prioritize them if we don't have to do them. So like a course like this is a great way to make sure and do the things that you really want to do. And you have stayed consistent with your fitness, correct?
I've been pretty consistent. I've been really consistent with a plank. My strength training goes off and on. The funny thing, okay, I'm going to tell you something about the plank.
Tell me.
Well, when I used to do yoga, I remember the teacher said, she goes, if you have time for just one pose, you should do downward dog. Like that was the most restorative, the best pose to do. And doing the plank, okay, let me see. I don't know if I can show. And that's just from doing planks. But because the plank, again, it's a mental exercise to get past a certain point. I'm up to 1 minute and 52 seconds right now. And, but your body's shaking and you're mentally trying to stay in it. Barbie had
Accountability partner
class. She had a really good thing. And so I play my vision cards. Like I have the recording on when I do my plank. So it takes me out of my head, because it's definitely a mental thing to keep holding that plank. But I think it's really helped tone my arms and stuff. I'm doing a lot of outside yard work, so that's why I'm not doing as much strength training with weights now.
That's working out. That's working out.
Yeah.
I just so you guys know, we will be planking a lot in the course, and it's like one of the best exercises. You heard.
Yes,
Downward dog is like the number one yoga pose, because you're basically planking in a V shape, kind of, right? And
strength and restorative, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Chef AJ. Chef AJ just joined. And yes, we love you so much. And we were talking about a whole food, plant-based diet, healing Peggy and me. And so Peggy Boo, can you tell everybody where they can find you? What is your Instagram?
My Instagram is the same as my podcast, Peggy's Piece of Mindfulness.
Yes. And okay, check out her podcast and her Instagram. Leave it down below. And Peggy, can you tell us more about what you offer? Because you're a healer yourself, do you offer sessions yet for us?
I do not. So that's kind of unfolding. Just getting past listening to my voice on my podcast. That was a big piece.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and it really helped, because in the class, a lot of times we would leave audio messages for each other. So that really helped me with that. I think the more I do my podcast, the more my thoughts are getting organized. I'm sure, I feel like I'll do a course around Hooponopono, and maybe include kind of the Course in Miracles along with it, because that's my love. I like eating this way because I have core values, which I've talked about before. One of my core values is compassion. So it's compassion for myself and other living creatures. That's why I do the whole food plant-based. But
I would love to take your course, because tell me when you're doing it, because I would love to take it. Hooponopono truly changed my life. That's why we do 12 sessions in my course of that. And we start every single Zoom with Hooponopono. It's a meditation, guys. And if you just joined us, we spoke about it earlier. So go back to the beginning. And it's very, very powerful. And it really works to help reprogram your subconscious, to help you be nicer to yourself and forgive yourself and take 100% responsibility for everything, all the good, the bad, the ugly, like all of the things that we're doing. They are our responsibility, and we can start fresh every single day, every single moment, right, Peggy?
Absolutely.
Like that's it. Like that's the key. Yeah, like when you fall off. Oh, go on.
Yeah, another thing I was gonna say is, like, for me too, so I'm 100% responsible for anything. So like if I have a friend came into my life and they're struggling with fear of cancer, and so I will say, well, they came to me with that problem, so it's also my problem. So I'll do Hooponopono on that. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry for whatever in me is creating this fear of cancer in my friend. Please forgive me.
Oh my gosh. That is so deep. Hold on.
Yeah. Because we're all connected. And so if my outside world is a reflection of what's going on in me, then, I'm responsible for everything I see in my outside world and cleaning up, and that'll clean it up in me. Or else he wouldn't have come into my life telling that to me.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why she goes to restaurants and she puts extra food and people are like, oh my God, this is so gorgeous. And then some people go to restaurants and they try to put extra food on the plate and the people are like, you can't do that here. You have to leave now. You
Yeah,
know
I've
what I
never
mean?
had that.
Because
Yeah.
Peggy Boo is taking full responsibility for her own well-being and everyone else is too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow, that's
exactly. I
good.
feel very supported out in the world, you know.
That's
I really
that's
do.
good. Oh, I'm gonna contemplate that, Peggy, because I've never taken responsibility for other people's issues. I've never even thought about it.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Yulin is like, if you
Mm.
hear him, he's like, when someone comes to me, they're not the problem. I'm the problem. I
Oh,
created
that's
that issue
good.
in them. Yeah. So again, it's this compassion and caring way and loving way to live your life. So when anybody, like even during our course, it's very, when you are changing your diet and you're letting go of what numbs you, stuff comes up. A lot of, these pains of what you were trying to numb with your food, it comes up. And so even when other people would talk about stuff, I would then do Ho'oponopono on them, saying
Mm,
it's my
mm.
responsibility because they were in my life. They're in my life.
Vibrational matches. We are
Yeah.
matching
Yeah. Mhm.
vibrationally to everyone and everything. And just to wrap it up, the food is a vibration, Peggy. Can you tell
Absolutely.
us, can you just
Absolutely.
tell us a little bit about that? Like, what is the vibration in the food that is raw versus the processed food, the dead animal body
Mhm.
parts? How does it affect us?
Yeah. Um, well, I know for me, I told you whenever I eat a raw diet, even if it's the high gourmet, which doesn't actually help my symptoms, you're happier. And I was with a group of people at a raw food chef training, and that's the first thing that they noticed was their mood lifted and they were happier. So obviously there is absolutely, you're loving your body, you're eating food that feels good to you, it's easy to digest. Dairy absolutely was horrible for me. And I feel like a lot of my autoimmune stuff came from all the processed foods. They're chemicals, they're made in labs, they're made to make your chemistry go out of balance. Like I did an example because I don't know for absolutely certain if Doritos does this, but if you have they chemically want you to be addicted to these foods. They want you to have a big burst of flavor and it immediately goes away. So you'll grab another one. It's not your fault. It's
Oh,
not your
yeah,
fault.
that's
It's
good.
chemically made. These foods, especially processed foods, like natural flavorings can be 100 different chemicals. And it sounds so benign, natural flavorings. It could be strawberry, natural flavorings. There's not an ounce of strawberry in there. It's all these chemicals. I mean, it's crazy. But we're taught, and through commercials and media, we're taught this is our food, and that it's okay to eat. So. But
Yes,
that makes you
okay.
very imbalanced. I think all those chemicals and they bother your body. You don't feel good. Animal products, dairy, I especially notice it. I have compassion for animals, so now if I eat them, I have all the images of what goes on in plants and to dairy cows and the babies and like baby male chicks. Like I don't like to go into negativity, but for me, that's in my mind, so it makes me very hard. So it's going to be an emotion. Again, it's emotional hard thing to eat an animal.
Yes, that's important, that
Yeah.
connection. What made you aware of that connection?
Gosh, my daughter was born in 1990. I'm pretty old. And
No.
I found the book Diet for New America. And I was
Yes.
reading that. And I was making Cornish hens for dinner. And
I loved to eat
I
Cornish
know.
hens.
I
Oh,
picked it up, it's like, oh my God, like you feel the bones and the skin. It's like, oh my gosh. And that was what we'd have. I'm not going to say I was vegetarian forever. I was vegetarian for a long time. And I kind of went off and ate some animal foods because people would go way out of their way to make me feel comfortable. Like I had a friend who we were going over for dinner with my husband and I'm like, why aren't you outside? It's so beautiful. She was making a vegetable lasagna for me that was taking hours and they were just gonna put steaks on the grill. Like I wouldn't eat steaks. I try to tell people I'm happy with sides, like vegetable sides and whatever. And it's hard because we're conditioned to believe we need a side of meat with the vegetable. Like they don't feel like they're being hospitable if they don't make me a
yes.
main part of the course, even though I'd be happy with the rest. So
Yes, yes, yes. I think it's up to us to help people realize we're not that high maintenance, you
Right,
know?
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, we have a very random question, Peggy Boo.
Sure.
Tessa wants to know, what detergent do you guys use? I've been getting
Uh,
rashes. Oh no. Peggy Boo, what kind of detergent do you use?
so I use like the clean and clear. It doesn't have because I can't even walk down the laundry detergent aisle. It's very hard for me with
Yeah,
all
me
very
neither.
very sensitive. So that one doesn't have a smell. I remember like after our program and I had my final like Zoom with you and Matt, and he was talking about he's just used vinegar, I think, even to wash clothes. Or if you use, hot water, you may not even need detergent or try to use vinegar. He said it didn't smell like vinegar, but I just try to, right now, it's steps, baby, it's steps. As I'm working through my life, it's a process. I make sure it's unscented. That's really big for me.
Yeah, I use like EOS. I don't know if this is a
I've
good
seen
brand or
that. Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I use it. I seem to be
Mhm.
fine. I am very, very chemically sensitive, and so
Yeah.
are you, Peggy.
Yeah. I
And
am.
now I have another
Yeah.
question. How do you deal with that? So like people come to you're very social.
Yeah.
People come to your house or you go to people's
Mhm.
houses and there's like perfume and plug-ins, air fresheners. How do you deal with that? Like,
Yeah.
is that an issue at all?
If I'm in a car with like it's so funny, I could be walking and people will walk by me and the lingering smell of perfume, it's crazy. Or whatever personal products they're using. I had a younger son that uses a lot of Axe. Like the sharp, that is so strong smelling.
Yes.
I mean, I kind of distance myself. I guess obviously I don't have friends that wear strong perfume because I haven't really noticed that. But the plugins, yeah, that's hard. That's difficult. But you're like there a short time, or it can be inside, outside. Yeah. As we've gotten older and our kids are all adults now, if we meet friends, a lot of times it's at a restaurant. Yeah.
Okay, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been hard for me for sure. Like people staying over and wearing perfume. And
Yeah.
then, well, what I've learned is that I have the right to kindly set my
Yeah.
boundaries, which was
Yeah.
very difficult for
Yeah.
me. And that's a part of breaking your food addiction,
Hmm.
setting your boundary with other people, with yourself, okay? And just like saying what you mean what you say, but say it in a nice way, you know? And so I tell people, I just had to tell somebody yesterday, I'm so sorry, but I'm allergic to perfume. I get a really bad headache immediately. Is there any way you can spray that outside the
Hmm.
house? I'm
Hmm.
so sorry.
Hmm.
And I don't even want to say sorry. I just say it, but like I want to just say it in
Yeah.
a nice, kind
Yeah,
way.
yeah. I think it's okay to say I'm sorry. Because you understand
Yeah,
this is their lifestyle and how they might have no idea that their perfume is in any way
right.
tough for you. So
Right.
to me, there's nothing wrong with sorry. I'm sorry because that's a cleaning phrase. And Hooponopono, say you're cleaning on it.
Oh, yes,
Yeah, I'm
yes.
sorry. Please
That's
forgive me.
interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't think there's nothing wrong with I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying I'm sorry. I really
Yeah, I
don't.
toy with
Because you're
this,
respecting
Peggy.
them. Yeah.
I toy with this because I'm not sorry for setting my boundary, but I am
No.
sorry that it might be an inconvenience to them, you know?
Right. Right. For someone you care about. I mean,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I don't to me, personally,
Yes.
that's not a bad thing.
Okay, then I'll say it. Okay, well, thank you so much, Peggy. You are so amazing and kind and just such a loving energy. And I loved doing a course with you because I learned so much from you and you were so positive and just so supportive of all the other women and me. And, because I'm still on my
Mhm.
journey, right? Like
We
always, we'll
all
always
are.
still be on our
Yeah.
journey, which is the thing that I think people don't understand. They're like, okay, I'm going to get to my goal and then I'll be
Mhm.
perfect. You're always going to be
Mhm.
on this journey, so you got to enjoy
Mhm.
it. And that's what I love about you. You're enjoying the
Exactly.
journey in all the stages, you know? And thank you for inspiring me, Peggy, and just being you, being so positive, working out with me every day, doing all the work. And guys, Peggy showed up. She was writing her notes, she did all
Mhm.
the homework, and there's a lot of homework.
Mhm.
But like, we only have 6 weeks together and we have a lot to do. So if you are interested, tomorrow starts my brand new course. So today's the last day to sign up. Send me an email, jd@misfitvegan.com, or DM me. If you send me the words I am ready, I'll send you all the information. Um, and let's get started. We start tomorrow, and this is like the last time before, before summer ends, that you can really start to take care of yourself and enjoy the weather, enjoy the summer, feel good and confident in your body, and feel energetic and sexy, and like just feel like you're supposed to feel. Peggy, if you could describe in one word how you feel on a raw food diet, what would
Mhm.
that word be?
Vibrant,
Vibrant. Yes.
vibrant.
Yes.
And I also want to say everything you said about me, that's exactly how I feel about you.
No.
Everything.
Well,
So,
I'm not sorry, because I mean it. And thank you so much, Peggy. You're amazing. And I attracted you. I attract we always attract what we are.
yeah.
So I'm going to say I'm just like you.
Cute.
And thank you so much, Peggy. I really appreciate you. Everybody go follow Peggy. I'll leave her links below on YouTube. Love you, Peggy Boo.
Love you too.
And we will talk soon. And thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye, guys.